A foreign government just gave the United States a Boeing 747 worth hundreds of millions of dollars. And after final commissioning flights, it could carry the president as Air Force One. But here's the real question. Why would America, the most powerful country in the world, need a donated jet in the first place? Because the real new Air Force One is late. Not by weeks, not by months, by years. And the deeper you look, the stranger this story gets. Air Force One is not just a luxury aircraft. It is a flying command center. It is built so the president can stay protected, connected, and able to run the country from the sky, even during a national crisis. So when the replacement for Air Force One falls years behind schedule, this is no longer just an aviation story. It becomes a story about national security, billions of dollars, political pressure, and one of the most controversial aircraft gifts in modern history. The official replacement is called the VC-25B. It is based on the Boeing 747-8, a larger, newer version of the 747, and the plan was simple: build two highly modified aircraft to replace the older presidential jets that have been flying since the early 1990s. But the plan did not go smoothly. The program faced delays, cost overruns, supply chain problems, changing security requirements, and the extreme difficulty of turning a commercial jumbo jet into a flying White House. These are not ordinary planes. They need secure communications, military-grade protection, special electronics, classified systems, presidential workspaces, staff areas, press areas, medical capability, and the ability to keep operating in situations ordinary aircraft were never designed for. That is why the schedule kept slipping. At one point, the new Air Force One aircraft were expected much earlier. Now, reports have warned that the real replacement could be delayed until around 2029, or possibly even later. That created a serious problem. The old presidential jets are still doing one of the most important jobs on Earth, but they are aging. Maintenance becomes harder, parts become more difficult, and every year of delay puts more pressure on the fleet. So the US needed a bridge. And that is where Qatar entered the story. A Boeing 747-8, previously connected to Qatar, was accepted by the United States and modified into what is now called the VC-25B bridge aircraft. Think about that. The country waiting for its next Air Force One received a temporary aircraft from a foreign government. That single fact is why this story exploded. Supporters saw it as a practical solution. Take an available aircraft, modify it, secure it, and use it to relieve pressure on the aging fleet. Critics saw something much more uncomfortable: a foreign gifted jet entering the presidential fleet, raising questions about security, ethics, influence, and how much modification is truly enough. And because many of the systems inside presidential aircraft are classified, the public will never see the full answer. What we can say is this: the aircraft has been modified for the presidential mission. It has a new red, white, dark blue, and gold livery. It has been delivered to the Presidential Airlift Group at Joint Base Andrews, and after commissioning flights, it can become available for presidential missions. But what is inside? That is where people get the story wrong. This is not simply a billionaire-style luxury jet with a presidential seal. Yes, it likely includes a private presidential area, meeting space, staff workstations, secure communication rooms, press areas, and medical support. But the most important parts are the ones the public does not get to see: the hardened electronics, the defensive systems, the secure communications, the classified modifications designed to keep the president connected and protected. That is what separates Air Force One from a normal luxury aircraft. A normal 747 carries passengers. Air Force One carries command authority, and that is why this aircraft matters, because this was never only about comfort, it was about readiness. If the president is in the air during a crisis, the aircraft must function as a command post. It must allow communication with military leaders, government agencies, and national security officials. It must keep moving keep transmitting, and keep the commander-in-chief protected. That is why delays in the real Air Force One program became such a big deal. Every year, the official replacement is late. If this finally made the Air Force One story make sense, hit like, subscribe, and turn on the bell. And tell me in the comments, should America accept a presidential aircraft from another country